today is the day. We're dropping off the chassis to Hector. Hector's the guy who does all of our framework. He's actually straightened my car out, I don't know, 5 times or something like that. So he said that he'll be able to take this on. We got it on the dolly, we got it in the trailer, we got the rotisserie stuff, and you ready for this thing, Hector? Yep. All right, let's freaking do it. Yeah, it's pretty light. Once we just pick it up right at the bottom there.
Ready? Yeah.
All right. Yep, you're good. Set it down.
Okay.
New chassis dropped off. Pumped, definitely. It's nice, you can kind of like relax for a second and shift focus. Now I can kind of refocus on the original race car chassis, getting parts off, getting stuff cleaned, organized, ordered. I still have a bunch of things to order. You know, rebuild kits for master cylinders and replacement water pumps and fluids and fuel pumps and all of that stuff. I got to get all that coming, and I just haven't quite yet. So I've just been like mind focused on fab work and getting the chassis done. So I can kind of start focusing on that a little bit, do some cleaning, do some organizing, and get some parts sent out the door. That's it. Currently removing all the wiring and starting to work on all the plumbing. We just got all the wiring off the back of the car, and you can see, yeah, it's got a lot of crap everywhere. Alec is wiping down the harness, and he's gonna inspect each plug and all the wires and make sure that's all good. This is the front harness, that's off the car. The engine harness here, I'm actually gonna send it to Jay at Black Tracks. He's the one who wired the whole thing to get this modification made. See, I had some zip ties shortening it, and that's this is to the potted crank sensor. So that'll get that modification. He'll inspect the whole thing, all the pins. This is what the front of the car looks like. Still have to get the EGTs through the firewall. And then got to tackle the inside, and the inside is kind of one of those things I'm just like, because it's been obviously a lot of years, right? Like some wiring went in the car, then some more wiring, and then you added this and you did that. So it would be good to, I kind of have to sit down and like look at it and think, how can we make this better? Does anything need to be cleaned up? Really put my eyes on everything. It's not, you know, by any means messy, but it's also a lot of stuff has been added over the years, that's for sure. And some of this I want to see how I can clean up better. Just because there's like a lot of extra length on some cables, and it would be, now's a good time to trim those things up. But yeah, I gotta remove the fuel tank next, and then the brake line plumbing that goes underneath the car. The fuel filler next up. It's never been out of the car since I put it together. That's crazy, never. Because it just kind of always lived in there. It goes from the dry brake on this side to the fuel filler. Wow. As we wait for the new chassis to get painted, we're kind of going over all the little things, sending out stuff, you know, normal stuff like that. But right now we're going over all the power steering racks and systems that we have. So this is the system off the car. Relatively new pump, so that could probably get sent out. Steering rack has 1 race on it. 2 race old rack. That's the one that cracked the mount off at Winter Jam in the demo car, and this is like a low throw one that we got from a buddy. So this is the problem with C6 racks. This is a very thin stamped steel. Cooper, Jesus. Hi, Coops. Hi, Cooper. All right, come on, we're talking racks here. Get out of the way.
I like racks.
It's only welded on this one side, so it flexes and cracks this thing. I've cracked off 3, probably 3 of them by now. So Part Shop Max made me this. This is a prototype billet clamp that will bolt in around the rack, but you need to cut off this. So you cut this off, it turns to this, then you put this billet clamp on and tighten it on the rack, and then it'll literally slip in and out and work as a normal rack. It's pretty freaking cool. It's a prototype piece, so this is the very first one. We got 2 of them. We're just checking, making sure that it all fits in. all the cross members that we have, so including that one over there, on all the racks that we have, because I have basically all the different years of racks here. I have like a 2013 one, you know, the original one that came in the car. Have one from a 2005 that came in the demo car, and that one's like a 2007 or something like that. Half are Z06s, half are old ones, so it's nice that we're checking all of them, but this is a super cool piece and will basically alleviate any future issues. And it's nice because you don't have to have like a rubber bushing and then you buy these rack bushings that go into it, right? Those are solid rack bushings. Get rid of all that crap, put one of these on there. And a top secret little tip that I've had from the team at Turn 1, because that's who does all of our rack rebuilds and power steering pumps. Shout out to Junior. You guys give Junior a call. Tell him we sent you. He'll take care of you. He knows everything there is to know about drifting and power steering systems and all of that. He's the man. There's actually a check valve in here.
That one's halfway.
Oh, it's halfway out.
Yeah, that one.
And I actually, yeah, see that? So it's a little check ball in there. And that actually took me out of like an entire practice session in Seattle because that check valve got stuck and it wasn't allowing fluid out, or I think it's on the high pressure. It wasn't allowing fluid to transfer through the rack. So I smoked 2 power steering pumps and basically had 2 racks that just weren't functioning correctly because of that. So Junior's tip was that we remove that thing because it's more for stock. I don't know if it's for like making sure that the steering wheel doesn't wobble or have any weird feedback or anything, but yeah, basically get rid of that and you shouldn't have an issue. Just because I literally locked up 2 power steering pumps and did it to 2 racks. 2 racks now. It was definitely surprising. Learning about power steering systems here. I'll show you guys the difference. See that? Clean in there, right down into the rack. And then that one has the check ball in there. There you go. Get them balls out.
All right, so earlier today, Hector, our body guy, told us that he's almost finished with the new chassis, getting it painted and prepped. So Matt and I are expecting to bring it back here to the shop pretty soon. Now behind me, this guy is the engine that came out of that car. So we ran this thing all of the 2022 season. The thing is still super duper healthy. We didn't have any problems with her, but of course, since we have the brand new spare, we're gonna be using this guy to start off the 2023 season in the new chassis. So I gotta get this engine onto that subframe, get a couple things transferred over and replaced, and then we should be ready to roll and get this thing wired up and installed in the new chassis as soon as it comes back. Okay, sweet. So I just finished getting the new engine put onto the subframe here. There's a few things that needed to be transferred over and changed. So generally speaking, we keep this engine ready to roll as close as we can to being able to just plop it into the chassis in case we need to. You know, obviously we need to do it relatively quickly when we're at Formula Drift or at competition. But there was a few things that we got new that I can actually replace right now since it's super duper easy. Generally speaking, we can run one of these water pumps from Mazier for the entire year. In fact, the one on the other engine was a-okay, but since we have this new unit, I'm gonna go ahead and swap that out. I just finished swapping out the starter from the other engine to this one because we generally speaking don't have any problems with those. What else do I got to do here? Well, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like when you put the water pump on.
Man, I feel like I haven't been out here and talked to this GoPro and literally done anything like 2 weeks. Have just been meetings, phone calls, emails, basically the entire day for the last couple weeks. But it's because we got a new title sponsor locked down, we got some tires locked down, a lot of stuff has happened, but not so much on this side. I mean, Alec has gone through and done a ton of things. Didn't really film anything. Alec, you know, you didn't really film anything.
What?
So I'm gonna walk you guys through just an update of where we're at. So, old chassis, like before, stripped other than the interior wiring. The new chassis, I think, is going to be done today. Hector was painting the cage last night, so I'm hoping he tells me today. It's kind of the end of the day today. Hopefully tomorrow we go pick it up. So, truck and trailer is ready to go pick that up. Other than the interior wiring harness, this thing is done, and I'm just gonna wait until that thing shows up, and the first thing we're gonna do is put that in. Alec went through all the front suspension. This looks like a brand new arm. That's a brand new arm. That's a brand new arm. All new upper and lower shanks. Everything has been anti-seized accordingly and Loctited accordingly with the correct washers. New style front sway bar. I kind of had the original front sway bar on there that needed billet clamps, and now it has the piece that doesn't allow it to go back and forth already welded into the sway bar. So that's a nice little update. All the steering racks have been gone through, cleaned, prepped, painted because they looked like shit, with the new billet mount here. Ooh, that's how far it gets crunched, huh? And that's not like over tighten on the bolts or anything?
No, it's not too hard.
Not too hard?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, then that's kind of perfect that it bottoms out like that. Sweet. Alec, he went over this, put the new engine on the cradle so that that thing can get prepped, ready to go. We're coming up with a game plan on this. Gonna take it to Grom Racing Engines and put it on an engine dyno and test some intake manifolds in the next couple of weeks and try to maximize the power and kind of keep it from falling off at 7 grand, because we turned this thing to 7,500, but the power definitely kind of turns down at 7,000. And that's probably because we run a factory LS7 intake manifold, which is really good for response, but it does fall off. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'll make sure I bring you guys along for that too. That'll be real exciting. This bracket had a crack in it, so we're gonna be welding up that bracket. Those valve covers, gonna retire those valve covers, hang them on the wall for sure. Got the new ones, they just need to be painted up. The rear suspension, Alec went over everything, cleaned everything up, checked all the brake pads and rotors, literally an entire season on WinMax pads and Wilwood calipers and Wilwood rotors. They're still good to go, surprising. He went through, greased everything up, new pins in the top and the bottom. Same thing with all this. All this has been lubricated and gone through. The rear sway bar, we still need to do some adjusting on that, maybe update it to the new version of that. That is our new spare quick change diff, because the other one got sent to RTS to get refreshed. Same thing with the gearbox, new gearbox, so all that is literally waiting for the new chassis to go back together and go in. This is the steering racks over here with the new billet clamp from Part Shop Max, because the stock clamp right here, this little thing cracks, falls off. Literally I've broken 4 now, so this is our solution for that. Super sick billet mount that you just cut this off, paint underneath it, and it is good to go. All these racks have been done up and cleaned. Catch cans prepped. Next thing we need to do is prep this fuel tank. So Aeromotive sent us new pumps and filters and everything to be replacing them in the tank. We actually run 3 in-tank pumps, and I'm gonna be upgrading. I got a 450. Normally I run the 340s, but we're gonna run the 450 in the tank to try to up it a little bit, because we're hoping to make some more power with the new intake manifold and more flow and all of that, more boost. So we might need a little bit more on the fuel system. So that is out, or that is there to get upgraded. What else we working on here? Everything kind of organized. Master cylinders all have been rebuilt. The pedals are good to go. These shocks are ready to go out to Part Shop Max. I'm just waiting for my other set to come back before we do that. And hopefully the next thing that we're gonna be doing is picking up the new chassis. So that's my goal. Alec is kind of just here doing some busy work, getting this engine 100% ready, even though we don't have a car to put it in. So yeah. Oh, and then the next thing that we need to do is the demo car. It's time to start thinking about that. So we unloaded it out of the trailer. It's over here. It got worked pretty good at Winter Jam. The right front basically got ripped off the thing. So I put on a suspension on the right front, sent the shocks off to Part Shop Max to get rebuilt. Look at this, what I got going on in there. Literally just a solid freaking rod holding the car up. It's like some of you static boys that you be rolling around, same thing. Whatever, 100 kg springs. It's time to peel the wrap off. It's the start of a new era. I'm excited to share that with you guys pretty soon. But till then, all you need to know is it's time to pull that teal and blue off. It's gonna be missed. Oh yeah, onward.